Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. Squad dropped yet another Unreal 5 playtest this weekend, and truth be told, this was the worst one yet. It took me hours just to get any form of stable FPS, and even then, it was still as stable as my mental state is right now, making this video. Nothing I changed or did made the game run anywhere near as good as it does in Unreal 4. And I mean, the bar's pretty damn low at this point. And don't even get me started on the balancing of this game, because some of this stuff needs addressing as soon as possible. This is going to be a pretty ranty video, so don't expect any fancy edits here, but as I have always said, if OWI get things right, I will praise them. But if they get things wrong, I will call them out on it. Oh, and I know some of the off-world devs watch my videos, so if you do watch this one, please do not take what I say personally. I know you guys are up against it here and working hard to try and get this shit done, but dude, I'm pretty much done at this point, and I have to get this off my chest. The only way I could play Squad this weekend was having all of my settings set to low, yet again, limit my FPS to 60, and then run Iron Sight only. But that only works on sand-based layers. The minute we switch to anything sizable like Manikugan, the game won't even get over 40 FPS for me. They dropped some patch notes for this slop, which seemed to have a bit more focus on fixing bugs, which is good to see. And they added in some more AA options, which has been widely requested, but in doing so, broke DLSS. Deleting cache made things worse, and I was on the correct NVIDIA drivers as requested. And let's get real here. Squad is the only game I have performance issues with. Arma Reforger, no problem. Battlefield 6, no problem. Hell Let Loose, no problem. Rust, Tarkov, Forza, Grey Zone Warfare, Nuclear Option, Elite Dangerous, City Skylines 2, all run flawlessly or near flawlessly on my machine. It's just Squad. And before anyone comes in with it's just a beta, dude, this shit's been in beta for nearly a year now, and it just keeps getting worse. Genuinely, the first public playtest was infinitely better than this dross. So how have things gone so badly wrong? I know there's the old saying of 1 step forwards and 2 step back, but each and every playtest seems to be a backstep, and another backstep. Oh, and then there's a slight shuffle forwards that we the community cling on to as a glimmer of hope, only to continue stepping backwards. And keep in mind here, I haven't even touched on server-side performance, which is still flat out unacceptable right now. So many people who have Squad servers, older ones mainly, are going to be forced to pay to upgrade their servers. And I know that's not totally a bad thing, but this stuff can't just be magicked up overnight. It's a timely and costly procedure. Our server provider, PSG, has a lot of Squad servers. What's Fox going to do if every single one of his customers comes up and goes, we need to upgrade and we need to upgrade now? If everyone's asking for the same spec stuff, it's going to be a logistical nightmare getting all that sorted out, not to mention the cost. Back onto the topic of personal performance, I know some people saw improvements, but from the majority of folk I've spoken to, it's gotten worse, and a bunch are also in agreement with me of this one being the worst one yet. Any weapon with picture-in-picture optics were just straight up unusable this weekend. And for the short moment it did perform, the optic itself just broke and gave me picture-in-picture. Like, what the hell is this? Like, I know Slay likes to rib me a little bit for taking the Marksman kit all the time during these playtests, but the reason I take Marksman is it's got the strongest magnification, so if there's going to be the slightest of hitching or the slightest of issues, it's going to pop up on that kit first. Like, some of the M4s in previous builds with the ACOGs performed flawlessly, but the moment I picked up the M110, it went to shit again. So, I'm not just taking Marksman just to be a Marksman player, although I do like playing Marksman. There is some science behind my approach. Loading into a game for the first time ends in a 10 to 15 second lag fest, and then trying to use my optic just continues this trend. Even just moving around without aiming creates hellish frame drops, And don't get me started on weapon handling, because it's gone to arse again, because FPS is so bad. So the FPS bug is well and truly back, as I've suspected for about 6 months now. The stupid thing is, the game doesn't even look any better. If anything, it looks a lot worse. It's more grainy, more artifacting, and everything basically looks like it's just been 720p upscaled. Vehicle physics are still horrific, again, affected by your FPS, but the next bit I want to talk about really gets my back up. Basic infantry kits that get drones is the stupidest addition to Squad by far, and you know how much I dislike the Canadian bum faction. Adding this is absolutely and catastrophically devaluing having a commander, as that was one of their main assets, be it a UAV or a handheld drone, that's not the point. Commander's drones usually come up 2 or 3 times per game if you're lucky. You get about 10 minutes of use out of them, maximum, and then you have to wait some 15-20 minutes to get another one. For these scout kits, or whatever they're called now, you get unlimited drone access. A simple reload of 250 ammo is all it costs. No limit, no time frame, just bag a bit of ammo and you're good to go again. And yes, there's no limit as to how far these can fly, and the battery on them lasts twice as long as the UAV sortie time. Insurgents are just going to have IED factories everywhere. I don't mind it too much for insurgents, but for the other factions, no. This is just a bad move. Squad promised a commander's overhaul years ago, and here we are. Infantry now gets almost as good access to command assets than the commander. I still remember when they promised bombing runs for the Chinese airstrikes. I'm still waiting for that one. Tracked lodges are still the most unpopular vehicle choice in game. They are slow, they are horrendous to drive, and they are easily wiped out. And why they carry less than a wheeled lodgy, I have no idea. The Marine AAVP can't even carry build. This shit's so poorly thought out, it goes back to something I've been saying for years now. Half cooked. That 80% mark that gets things to a point, and then abandoned it to work on something else. The that's good enough, or the it'll do attitude. As some of you guys know, I am a panel beater and spray painter by trade. If I worked to the same shoddy standard as this, the that'll do mentality, I would have been sacked years ago, and people would remember my name for shit, shoddy workmanship. Someone comes to pick up their car from me. There you go, sir, that's your car all repaired and painted, ready for you to take home, only for the customer to see that their car's only been, mostly painted. And then for me to reply with, that's good enough for you, mate. If I was EA, you'd have to pay for the rest of that through microtransactions. And here's where I think Squad's come undone. All of these years of cutting corners, the half-finished implementations of things, the hundreds of unkept promises, and the countless times of just burying their heads in the sand, hoping this will all just blow over and we'll forget about it. This is why the player base is dropping, and dropping fast. Only for Offworld to inflate the numbers once more by having 4 sales in the last 12 months with no content added to the game, constantly watering down Squad's player base and ethos. It's like they no longer have faith in their own product anymore. I know the studio has a lot going on trying to keep games like Starship Troopers and Squad 44 afloat, but this shouldn't come at Squad's expense. Let's be honest, renaming Postscriptum to Squad 44 was setting that project up for failure before it even got underway, because it sounds like a mod for Squad. And if they were that hell-bent on changing the name, they were sat on such a good title. Letters from the Front would have been so much better. What next? Are they going to rename Starship Troopers to Squad 2297? I really feel like the devs have lost their way with Squad. The direction seems to be all over the place, whilst leaving behind its morals. Yes, they've tried to force people back towards it with the infantry combat overhaul, but that just wound up making the game not fun for a lot of people, myself now included. And having spent a bit of time playing other games has made me realise that there's not a lot of fun left in squad these days, and going forward, it seems even darker. I genuinely feel like I'm staring at the finish line for my content creation with squad. This game has been a huge part of my life for years. I've met people through it, I've built a community around it. I had some of my best gaming memories here. You know, I remember getting partnered with Squad, and I held that far higher as an achievement than anything I've done in my professional career. And that's what makes this so hard. It's not just a game to me, it's been a passion. And watching it slowly fall apart has been genuinely gutting. I'm not even angry anymore, I'm just tired. I'm tired for hoping that the turnaround that never comes. Tired of seeing potential wasted. Tired of dealing with the same issues for years. Maybe Squad will find its way back someday. And if it does, I'll be the first to celebrate it. I'll be right there at the front. But right now, I think I'm done, especially with these playtests, until Unreal 5 actually comes out. I just can't do it anymore. And the thing is, I'm not the only one. The amount of squad partners that I have spoken to that share the very same sentiments of myself, whether some more will come forward and say this more publicly, after this, maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't. But to those of you who've supported me, shared games with me, or even just listened to these rants, thank you. You've made this journey worth it, and I'll always be grateful for that. Take care.